I welcome you to this session on empirical review. This is the last important section of literature review. We have considered conceptual review as well as theoretical review. Empirical review requires that you review important studies surrounding your research problem or research gap. It is at this point you need to establish that your research is not the first of its kind, and at the same time it is still the section where you will still justify that it is also the first of its kind. How do I mean? We are going to show that it is not the first of its kind because there are other people that have worked in that area. So you will now have to review those studies. Let us know what they have done. What theory did they use? What were their findings? You let us know this. So that's what I mean by showing us that your own work is not the first of its kind. There are people who have worked in that area. But at the same time, you are still also going to show us that your study is also first of its kind. And how do I mean by this? After reviewing the existing research on the problem, letting us know what others have done and how they have done their work and what their findings are, you now also go further by showing us that your own current study is different from these existing studies. In other words, you let us know the relationship between your work and the previous studies. In what way does your own study connect with the previous research? Because you are not supposed to conduct your own research in a vacuum. Remember, research is about finding a gap and addressing that gap. So what necessitates the existing gap is that the previous studies have not been able to cover all that needs to be covered in the discipline. So what is left to be covered by the previous studies is what we refer to as your research gap or research problem. So under the empirical review, you let us know the relationship between your work, because your work want to fill a vacuum that previous studies have left. So it shows the similarities, relationship between your work and the previous studies, and how your work will be different, so that you are not going to be repeating what others have done. It is important because your research will be worthless if you are merely repeating what has been done by others. And this is why the empirical review is very important. In some disciplines, they don't normally give importance to conceptual review and even theoretical review, but they place premium or emphasis on the empirical review because they want to see the connection between your work and the works of other researchers, so that they can now see that, oh yes, this is the way in which you are contributing to scholarship. You want to advance the current scholarship to another level. You are taking it to another level. So they want to see what is the state of scholarship in that discipline or in that area. You will have to tell us, let us know. And then you now let us know that this is the new thing which you are going to be doing in that field, which is the gap which you are trying to address. So this is, in a nutshell, what the empirical review requires you to do. Thank you.